Start recording. Good morning. It is 8:42 a.m. It is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. This is my second time recording this. The first time there was no sound, so yeah, that was awesome. Other than that, I was meant to record this yesterday, but got off work late, so I didn't feel like doing it, and I decided to do it today in the morning. To start this off, I just want to speak about first work thoughts, and pretty much right now I'm working as a merchandiser. Basically, I go around and I stock like a warehouse. Well, not a warehouse. I go to stores and I stock the stores and whatnot. Um, like I do all my work, all my duties. I get the job done. It's work. I get everything done correctly. But originally, I wanted to apply to be a 911 to work for as a dispatcher. But unfortunately, even though that my reference told me that I should be able to get the job, I wasn't able to. And it's nothing to do with my skills, nothing to do with my physical capabilities, nothing to do with anything, right? Like that, it's just something because of who I am, right? Something that I can't change, at least not right now, maybe in the future, but right now I can't do it. Still, I'm thankful for them to try to get me in, and it didn't work. Okay. So right now I'm working as a merchandiser, and basically I'm doing all of my tasks, all of my duties, everything. But at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna stay in the company. I don't know how long I'm gonna be in here. They don't understand boundaries, and they don't know how to. I'm like an enigma, right, in their group, I guess. And I just don't understand. I'm respectful to everybody. I'd speak to them, kindly and everything, but I have noticed that whenever I speak or I'm respectful to them, very, whatever, then they try to push boundaries, right? And they try to do some things that I already, made very clear, I'm not okay with. And then whenever I, put up my boundaries and I'm more professional, more cold, then they want to give me more tasks, more duties, more work, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Work is work. But the thing is, they do some very, sketchy, shady stuff, right? For example, they will stack stuff on top of the work that I need to do that won't fit on the shelves or is unnecessary, right? And they do it on purpose, so I have to kind of like move them around, and it just makes it more cumbersome to actually get my job done. I'm like, okay, whatever, I just work through it. I've had to basically restock and unstock pallets multiple times to be able to complete my duties, the things I need to do. It's fine. Whatever. Then there's also other things where they'll stack them in a way that they are not safe to move around, so that they will fall, right? And make a mess. This is also intentional, and they know that they're doing it wrong, because whenever there's somebody else, like a store manager or somebody else that's part of the group and stuff, right? Then all of a sudden they change their tone, right? They're like, oh, we need to stack this another way, or we need to do something this another way, right? Because they know that it's not the right thing, right? But they are doing this, right? They're like, I guess they're trying to break me, which is not gonna work. But either way, it is what it is. So basically, other things that they've done is they would, example yesterday, right? There was this hand jacks, the ones that you need to move around with. They're electrical, right? But there's a smaller one, and then there's a big cumbersome one, right? Well, the guy that's training me, he was using the small one, and he gave me the big one that to work in a very tight location, right? He set up the pallets and all that stuff in a way that he wanted me to break something or make a mess. And then once I stacked them correctly, right, the pallet on top of another pallet, and I did it correctly. This only is because I have experience before working with reach trucks and all that stuff, so I'm a little bit more used to it than a novice. I see that this is either one, they're trying to get me fired, or they're trying to, you know, uh, make me look bad or something. Either way, I did that correctly. And then the next one, right? The next pallet again, I'm stacking it on top of another pallet. And then I tell him, hey, he told me put that one on top of there. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let me shrink wrap it. He's like, no, you don't shrink wrap that one. Put that up there. Okay. So I did, right? And then he got pissed off, right? I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I just did it. Okay. Again, these is very tight locations. This jack is it's not working correctly either, right? You need to wrestle it. So either way, he's using the small one. He's doing it on purpose, right? Trying to like, he has this very professional way of doing things. He's like, like very nice, and then he does the worst things. Like, yeah, it don't matter. Either way, yeah. So then he was stacking another one. This one was the biggest one, and he wasn't gonna shrink wrap it, right? A lot of mixed stuff, small items, not safe, right? But then the store manager, got there, and he was standing there. When he saw that, he started stacking it, and he started shrink wrapping it, and then he saw like, and then he's changed his tone. He's like, this is the reason that I'm showing you this is because most of the stores are gonna use that jack. Most of the locations are gonna be tight, and then you're not gonna be able to get through it. Blah blah blah. Trying to change the tone, but the manager was there. He kind of like saw what was going, and it's not the first time. Multiple times, multiple different products, right? It's whatever. Work is work. I'm still looking for other things. Eventually I'll find something that's good for me. Again, I'm gonna keep on being respectful, do my duty, and keep on doing that onto better stuff, right? First of all, the novel, it's progressing pretty smoothly. I've so far I finished Agni, right? The first draft for him, very rough first draft, but now I have more of the world fleshed out, the characters, their physiology, the way that their character is, and the way that their kingdoms are set up, their structures, social structures, and some history as well. This I can expand upon either with the other characters, which I'm thinking about doing that too. I'm gonna make it so that Agni kind of like just goes over it in a more generalized sense, more professional, so that you people can get the information when they get to that chapter, in case if they missed anything. But once any of the other characters go, they'll expand on it. I'm currently working on my second character. I don't remember his name. It was Latin in origin, right? This is a lizard person, a lizard species, and their species rules over the surface of the earth, basically most of the surface. They don't have kingdoms in the cold because, of course, they're lizards, and they're not very bright. They're arrogant. They're greedy. They're very they're like a reflection of humanity. Not all of humanity, but most of humanity that just wants to expand and wants to just keep on ruling, and thinks that they're the best. They consume a lot of products and stuff like that. They value a lot of stuff that is very materialistic in nature. The other character, Agni, is a slug from a fire slug species. They're the you can say that their species is the more educated out of all of them, the most intelligent with technology and science, the most advanced kingdom, and they feel superior because of their noble causes, and they're immortal. So well, a sort of form of immortality. They can die, but they can live forever, indefinite. Well, they can live indefinite if they wanted to. But yeah, other than that, we also, I don't know if you've seen the pattern, right? We have earth for the lizard people. We have fire for the slug people, the fire kingdom, whatever. We have the air people, which is an avian species. I don't know if I'm gonna make them to be humanoid or if I'm gonna just make them into being birds. Still trying to figure that one out. These are gonna be most. They don't have a ruler like a king. They have noble families, right? And the bigger the family is, the better. They rule over floating islands in the sky, right? They were the masters of mana and the elements and just magic. They're the ones that are more attuned with that, and they're very powerful because of that. But because of that, they're also you can think of them as like kind of similar to elves without living that long from Lord of the Rings. And they're they don't care about the surface of the earth or other kingdoms. They're more about freedom and flight and being unshackled, and they have a bravado about them. Very pompous, but they have a bravado, a lot of honor as well in their kingdom. They're, like I said, very very like rich noble families. The lizard people, like I said, arrogant. They do have a king, and they're about the biggest. They have the biggest numbers and mass reproductions and stuff like that. Next up is the final kingdom, which is the water kingdom. The water species is the most reclusive out of everyone. They live in tightly knit tribes, right? And they move and migrate throughout the oceans. They're the rulers of the oceans, and without a doubt, they're the most peaceful. They're the most they're not they don't care about the rest of the world. They just care about themselves and living life, I guess you can say. These are very highly attuned. They don't speak. You can't speak underwater. Well, I guess you can say sense sonar, but you really can't speak underwater. They don't speak. They use what's it called? Not telekinesis. They're psychic, right? They can speak with their minds. And they don't speak with words. They send emotions, sensations, feelings. They send images, and stuff like that, which makes very difficult to write. But you can imagine that it could be very creative as well. Out of all of the species, they are, like you can see, all of them have different unique traits about them and things that make them powerful. I might write a potential fifth one. I'm still thinking about if that's going to be a species or something altogether itself. They're not really from this world kind of deal. They're going to be something completely like a higher form of beings, but we'll worry about that once we get there. And that's going to be part 5 out of my book. Yeah. I'm enjoying writing it. Each of the different characters will have different speeches. The lizard dude is gonna have I want to make him be rhyming, right? So rhyme schemes, complex kind of sentence structures, very what's it called? Extravagant way of speaking as well. The air species, they're gonna be all about freedom. I want their language, when you're reading it, I want it to feel like a rush. I want it to feel like there's just emotions, but nothing sexual, nothing in that regard. Just intense emotions and feelings and just the way that it speaks. The slug is gonna be professional, a lot of scientific terms, very dry, you can say. But the character itself, because he is, he feels superior to others as well. And out of none of my characters are gonna be good people. You'll see. They're all gonna have, I mean, this is a horror, cosmic horror, so we'll go through that. Other than that, I'm just going through. The hardest thing to write will be the water one. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get symbolism across in the images and how to get it correct. I have an idea of how I'm gonna do it, but it might be very difficult for people to understand. So that's why it's gonna be crucial to get this, edited and reviewed by another person, professional, more hopefully that can go through it. But hopefully it's creative, and something that I'm proud of. Other than that, I haven't really been. Well, let's talk about sprite work. I'm still working on the sprites for my game development. Like I said, that's slow, work. It's gonna take some time to get through it. There's, just slow and steady wins the race, right? But right now I have version 2 of my sprite for my main character. We have idle, run, jump, combo 1, combo 2, and I'm working on combo 3 at the moment. And yeah, the way that I have it set up right now, it should be easier to update Godot later on with new sprites as I need them, right? So hopefully that's good. On the book that I'm reading, 2666, I haven't really read too much this week, but today I'm hoping to read a lot. Yeah, so that'll be awesome. Again, I finished my yearly goal, so at this point I'm just slowly reading it and enjoying the book. It's more like a burn down, slow kind of deal at the end of the year and maybe beginning of the year. I'm not gonna do reading challenges like those again, because I don't think they have much merit, in the sense that I would rather consume books that are more difficult, or something that I'm enjoying, that I'm really really enjoying. If I read through them fast or not, that doesn't matter. I just want to enjoy the books that I'm reading. So yeah, I'm not gonna make those huge reading challenges anymore, but I will keep on reading. Because like I said, anybody can just finish the reading challenge, right? Like, for example, I could get a book. I don't know. What about this? How many pages this thing has? Okay, so this has about 170 pages, including some glossary reference, whatever, at the back. And I can read books like those or smaller, and you can get through them a lot quicker. But I'm not looking for quantity. I'm looking for quality. Okay. Other than that, what else do I need? Oh yeah. So yes, the dating thing, trying to get a girl. It's actually, I've been doing cold calls, walking up to, or just walking up to a girl that I find attractive and talking to them more often. Now I'm getting a lot more comfortable, and just I'm getting good conversation out of it. So anyway, it's going smoothly. I'm not rushing things. And I watched the video, which I think it hit the nail, the head on the nail correctly on what to do. I don't remember I'm not gonna say their name or the channel, but it's she has a lot of followers on there, and she talked about how you should never, to talk to a girl, just be naturally yourself. Don't try to be something else, be different. Just go up to them, normal conversation. Don't try to force things, right? And at the same time, you're trying to find somebody that you like, and hopefully you guys are a good match. So just treat it like learning experience. Talk to them, don't rush things, don't do anything like that, and eventually it will work out. So yeah, other than that, there's this one girl that I've that I've kind of have a crush on, or I would like to get to know her better. But I met her because I had to pay something off. I've already been doing this for a big chunk of the year now. It's a monthly payment, and instead of going to, I need to get a money order, and instead of going to the bank to get it, I decided to go to a place where my parents used to get it when I was a kid. Anyway, I have been going there. I bumped into her like 2, maybe 3 times, in this process, and the couple of times that I've spoken to her, she gives me like a good feeling about her, right? Like good vibes. So I try to go see if I could catch her 2 times last week. Unfortunately, she wasn't there. It was somebody else, and yeah. So I have my last payment this month. I'm gonna try to go and see if I can, see her then. And if I do, I'm gonna shoot my shot. See if she wants to go get some food or something. And if not, maybe it's just not meant to be, or maybe it's just not the right time at the moment. Either way, we'll see. Other than that, maybe I'll go and frequent different places, like places where maybe there might be, the type of girls that I want to talk to will be, just like that. Hmm. Also, the mirror on my truck, it has a crack on it, and it's been, when I drive, it shakes, like going down the highway or anything like that. And basically, I need to replace it. I already got the mirror, right? These are aftermarket. I could have gotten the original ones, but I wanted to try something different. And there's not much aftermarket. A lot of the other stuff I didn't really like, or they're poor quality. We'll see how these are. If they're no good, or I don't like the way they look at on the truck, then eventually I'll swap them out. It's not a big deal. I didn't want to do something like custom because that's going to be expensive, but if it needs to be, I'll do it. I'm currently waiting on tools because I have an old truck, right? It has a manual window, the good old cranks on it. And in order for me to take off the door panel, right, there's a metal clip that goes around the manual door handle that I need to take off with a special tool. And if I try to force it off without that tool, then that clip can break, and then I will have to try to order that and then replace it. And I just didn't want to deal with that, so I bought the tool. Hopefully, it doesn't break. Yeah, the tool should arrive today, right? I've got a whole toolkit for removing the door panels, and we'll see. And if it gets here early, I'll work on it today. If not, I'll try to do it tomorrow, and we'll see. But yeah, that's awesome. I also took some pictures of my truck, like any person, any car person will do, right? They take pictures of their vehicles. It was looking good on the sun, so it's one of those things. Other than that, I think that might be it for my reflection this week. Just want to close off on just like on a note or something, right? First things first, I will continue to be good and respectful, right? No matter how people act around me or treat me at work. I know the way they're doing it, right? I don't fit in, right? They have a very they have a very tightly knit group, let's say, right? I don't fit into their group, and they don't like me, even though I'm very respectful to them. I'm good, and I get the work done much better than just about anybody. And they try to make me quit or break, whatever, right? With the workload, give me more workloads, give me 2 trucks, right? Go to 2 locations, that got trucks to unload, and I've unloaded them and I worked them. Oh, that's not working. Let's see if putting stuff on top, that doesn't go on top. Did that. All right, let's see if we can, let's push him to put this stuff in very difficult places, right? Using the pallet jack, the electric pallet jack, or whatever they have, didn't affect me, or many other things, right? Putting pallets in front of my stuff that I need to work, just petty stuff, crap like that. But at the end of the day, I'm just there to work. I'm gonna get the job done. I'm gonna continue to be respectful. I was raised the right way, right? I don't care, about people's beliefs or values and stuff like that, right? Everybody should be able to do their own thing. But please don't try to push your beliefs or your values onto me, right? And then think that I'm gonna just change because of that. No, That's not correct. So yeah, so one of those things is, I'm just gonna continue to be me, continue to be good, continue to be respectful, to continue to be kind. And yeah, on a closing note, I don't think anybody watches these except me, and maybe even I won't go back to watch all of them. Just, maybe 10 years into the future, I'll go back and be like, man, I used to have less wrinkles. So either way, um, yeah, all I'm gonna say is, just be good to people, right? I think that's the biggest thing. Um, and if others don't reciprocate the same the same way, that's okay. Just you were raised the right way, or I hope you did. Where just don't try to force things onto other people. Just be good. And yeah, I see me next week. Let me see.